Man United begin their search for a new manager. PSG to drop Haaland interest. Could Chelsea lose Mount? And a transfer roundup, all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host, Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. It's safe to say that Ole Gunnar Solskjær was perhaps on borrowed time with Manchester United, and finally that borrowed time has run out as he and the club have parted ways. After that humiliating defeat to Watford at the weekend, allegedly there were 5-hour talks internally between the powers that be about what to do with the manager, and they have now come to a mutual agreement. I think that it's been put forward as a mutual agreement rather than a sacking, as of course Solskjær does have a status at the club as a legend from his playing days, and I think that this was probably the best route to go down. He did actually give quite an emotional farewell interview, and it's just one of those things for Man United fans. I think that some fans were definitely celebrating his departure, whereas others were probably feeling a little bit sad, as on paper, having a club legend as your manager that could potentially take you to some great heights and silverware sounds great, but unfortunately he did not have what it takes to take this club to the next level. However, I feel like Solskjær should not be walking away with all of the blame on his shoulders, as the players and the powers that be at Man United do have to take some of the blame as well. So who will be taking over from Solskjær? Well, Michael Carrick, another former player, will be at the helm for their European fixture against Villarreal, and he will be in charge until they find an interim manager that will be in charge until the end of the season. So it seems like for Man United fans, they will not be seeing the permanent replacement for Solskjær until the end of this season, which has raised quite a few questions and doubts about Man United on what their actual vision is for the future, as essentially have they written off the rest of this season already? Because who's to say that whoever this mysterious interim manager is that comes in, who's to say that they can actually make some changes at Man United and actually get them playing a lot better? Does this mean that they're just going to continue as they have been so far this season, just to get to the finish line in May and then look to change things in the future? Now, regarding the interim manager, the permanent replacement, etc., there have been quite a few rumours as to who could be taking over. One of them is the Spanish national team coach Luis Enrique, who actually did speak to Spanish media and asked if it was April Fool's Day when he was asked about the Man United position. So I think it's safe to say that he will not be taking charge. Then there's actually Wayne Rooney. For some reason, he has been thrown into the mix again as a former Man United player. He said that he doesn't expect to be taking charge. To be honest, I don't think anybody actually expected that he would truly be in the mix. In addition, Sevilla's Julian Lopetegui has also been linked with the position, as reportedly Cristiano Ronaldo's agent Jorge Mendes has said that he would like to see the manager take over. However, he seems pretty happy at Sevilla. He has a contract until 2024 and has already spoken to Spanish media in the past when he was linked with the Spurs job, saying that Sevilla is where he wants to be. And then, of course, there is Leicester City's Brendan Rodgers, who is still being linked with the position, and Ajax's Erik ten Hag. Now, he has come out and said that he doesn't know anything about this Manchester United job. He's not heard anything about it. But then Sky Sports News have also stated that he would 100% be interested at the end of this season. So I think he could definitely be a contender. One manager that seems to not be a contender is Zinedine Zidane. You could argue that he's probably the most glamorous name in this list when you consider the amount of silverware that he did win for Real Madrid. But according to sources close to the manager, he's not interested in the Manchester United job, as he has got his eye on a job with PSG or perhaps the French national team. Now, in order for him to get the PSG job, they would of course have to let go of Mauricio Pochettino, who, you guessed it, is reportedly Manchester United's #1 target for the position. Now, for Pochettino at PSG, the pressure is certainly on to win the Champions League. If he doesn't manage to do this, then perhaps they could end up letting the manager go and bring in Zidane. Now, with Pochettino, I think that he is probably the most realistic option for Manchester United, because he seems out of the list of managers as the main one that would be interested in a long-term project that Manchester United would be. Apparently, the club do have a lot of admiration for him. He reportedly does have a good relationship with Sir Alex Ferguson as well. So yeah, it seems like Pochettino is at the top of the list for this job. However, I think that this one is going to rumble on for quite a few months yet, and it will be interesting to see who Manchester United actually go with. Is at the end of the day, whoever is next at the helm of the club, they have got to get it right. Now, according to a report from El Nacional, it's not only Real Madrid that could be considering giving up on the dream of signing Erling Haaland, as reportedly PSG could be in the same boat. Now, of course, PSG do seem to be in the market for a new forward, as it seems more more and more likely that they will be saying goodbye to Kylian Mbappe in the summer, as it seems like he'll be playing his football in a white shirt next season for Real Madrid. So if you're PSG, you've got bags of money and you are looking for a forward that is going to provide you with goals galore, of course Erling Haaland would be at the top of your list. However, according to some reports, similar to Real Madrid, PSG could be getting a little bit tired of the mind games of Mino Raiola, Haaland's agent, and it seems like they could actually be looking now at a plan B. So what does plan B actually look like? You're looking for another young, talented forward that can provide you with a lot of goals. It seems to be Dušan Vlahović. He is the name that is reportedly at the top of Leonardo's list now, and the 21-year-old has also reportedly caught the eye of Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid. He is emerging as one of the best forwards in Serie A at the moment, and actually has got quite a lot of interest from quite a few clubs. Now, last season there were a few clubs interested in him, but Fiorentina did give him a price tag of about 80 million euros. Since then, the club have tried to keep him there. They've actually offered him numerous different contract deals that would make him their highest paid player. However, the 21-year-old has reportedly said that he's not interested in any of these deals, and it seems like he's definitely looking for pastures new. Now, is Vlahović on the exact same level as Haaland? You could probably argue not. However, their goal tally so far this season are very similar, and like I say, Vlahović has been absolutely amazing so far for Fiorentina. So it definitely makes sense why PSG are looking at the player, as not only is he already very good now, but they could definitely develop him to become even better. However, a lot of clubs are interested, the likes of Real Madrid, Juventus, even reportedly Newcastle United. But one thing's for certain is that when you look at some of these world-class strikers in Haaland, Vlahović, Mbappe, etc., that they could all be on the move next summer, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see where they all end up. Whilst Chelsea are at the top of their game at the moment and are arguably one of, if not the best team in Europe at the moment, this doesn't mean that they are not at risk of losing some of their best talent. And according to a report from Fichajes, it seems like Mason Mount could be looking for the exit door in London. Now, according to this report, Mount is very frustrated, very unhappy at the moment with the way that he's being treated at Chelsea. So reportedly there have been some contract negotiations to extend his current contract, which expires in 2024. And reportedly these contract negotiations have been nowhere close to Mount's expectations of what he believes he deserves. And in addition, he believes that he's still being treated almost like a youth player rather than a permanent fixture in the squad. And what this means is that he could be looking for a transfer in the next window. Now, the Spanish outlet does confirm that Real Madrid have reportedly lodged their interest in Mason Mount, as when you look at their attacking midfield, there is definitely space alongside the likes of Isco for a young talented player like Mount. In addition, Manchester City are reportedly interested, but when you look at their midfield, it seems pretty solid already. And actually, Bayern Munich have also been linked with the player, as they reportedly believe that he could be some kind of replacement for Thomas Müller. Also, Liverpool have been linked with the player. However, I'm not too sure if I can actually see Mount walking away from Chelsea. He's been at the club since he was a child, he's risen through the ranks, and I just think that this is one of those situations when it comes to contract negotiations, as of course Chelsea have been hitting the headlines left, right and centre when it comes to negotiations with quite a few of their players. I believe that they will not give up Mount without a fight, and I don't think that Mount will just walk away from Chelsea unless he's tried everything that he possibly can. So I believe that they'll be able to work this one out. However, if I'm wrong and they're not, then I think that Mount will definitely generate a lot of interest across Europe. But yeah, like I say, I think that he will be staying at Chelsea, but you never know what could happen. And now we have a transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Manchester City are amongst the clubs that are considering making a move for Alexandre Lacazette. Meanwhile, in Italy, it seems like Roma and Juventus are the two clubs that are battling for the signature of PSG's Leandro Paredes. Reportedly, Arthur Melo's agent is pushing for a move to the Premier League for the Juventus midfielder, with the likes of Leeds, Newcastle and Arsenal all interested. And finally, according to a report, Raheem Sterling has told Pep Guardiola that he wants to leave Manchester City in the next transfer window and wants to head to Barcelona. And now we have Friday feels. Of course, on Friday's Daily News, you guys gave us your predictions for the weekend's fixtures. So let's see who got them right. First up, we have got D-Baller, who predicted correctly that Xavi's first game in charge at Barcelona would end in a victory. Bryce Clay guessed correctly that Inter Milan would end Napoli's unbeaten streak in Serie A. And Aman Valadia predicted correctly that Chelsea will get a 3-0 win over Leicester City. And now we've got Emoji Mondays. This is where I stick a few emojis on some of the weekend's action. And first up, we are going for best player. And I've actually had to go with Dušan Vlahović, who I mentioned previously. He scored 2 goals in Fiorentina's 4-3 victory over AC Milan. He's now managed 27 goals in 37 Serie A appearances. He is absolutely phenomenal. And like I say, it's no wonder that so many clubs are interested in signing the player. Next, we've got best goal, and I've actually gone for Sebastian Haller's 17th minute opener for Ajax. Not because it was an amazing goal or anything, but actually because what it meant is that Ajax hit a massive milestone. They have now scored 500 goals under their manager Erik ten Hag in just 185 games. Absolutely amazing. And craziest moment had to go to Liga as Marseille faced Lyon. And once again, a Marseille game was suspended, as within 5 minutes of the game, Dimitri Payet was struck with a bottle. Both teams exited the pitch, and after 2 hours of discussions about if the game would go ahead or not, it was eventually postponed. Like I say, not the first time that this has happened in the French league, and just very disappointing that things like this are even happening. So that's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, thanks for watching. Check out all the other content that we've got here, and until next time, I will see you all later.